This activity is intended to help us understand the perspective or experience of a person living with dementia. We will start with some excerpts from the book Partial View, an Alzheimer's Journal by Carrie Smith Henderson. Here's some background on the book. Henderson was diagnosed with early onset Alzheimer's disease in 1986, and he started recording his experiences and thoughts in 1991 to share with others as writing became more difficult. His recordings were transcribed into a book with the help of his daughter and published in 1998. Henderson died in 2001. Let's hear some of his quotes now.
No 2 days and no 2 moments are the same. You can't build on experiences. You can maybe guess what's going to happen in a little while from now, minutes from now, hours from now. We don't know what to expect.
I'm scared to death of going downstairs, and it's not a whole lot better going upstairs. You can't live on the bottom all the time, though.
There are things I wish I could do. But on the other side, there are things that I still can do, and I plan to hold on to them as long as I possibly can.
We want things to be like they used to be, and we just hate that. The fact that we cannot be what we used to be. It hurts like hell.
And another really crazy thing about Alzheimer's, nobody really wants to talk to you any longer. They're maybe afraid of us. I don't know if that's the trouble or not. I assume it is, but we can assure everybody that we know Alzheimer's is not catching.
We still believe that there is something ahead, although we know it's going to be diminished. I want to live my life with some sort of dignity and with some sort of brains left. Having brains would be a doggone interesting thing to do.
Every time I have a feeling that I'm losing contact, losing my brain, whatever it is, I panic. I think the really worst thing is you're so restricted, not so much by other people, but you just feel that you are half a person, and you so often feel that you are stupid for not remembering things or for not knowing things.
People with Alzheimer's do actually think. They may not think the same sort of things that normal people think, but they do think. They wonder how things happen, why things happen the way they are. It's a mystery.
Very often, I wander around looking for something which I know is very pertinent, but then after a while, I forget all about what it is I was looking for. When I'm wandering around, I'm trying to touch base with anything, actually.
I think the only way to do it is to go with the flow. If you accidentally sit down where people are eating, go ahead and eat. That's my motto. Do as the Romans do. And when Romans do it, if you see a Roman doing it, it's all right.
My wife is trying extra hard to make things tolerable for me, to give me things to do, and to make me feel good. I really, really do appreciate that. If you're going to get Alzheimer's, by all means, pick out a good caregiver, and it's about the best you can do.
I'm afraid of losing contact. My wife is the only one who really understands me, and I'm hard to understand.
There's so many things about Alzheimer's that are rather bewildering. Sometimes you can have mood swings that are really awful, I think. Sometimes I feel on top of the world. In fact, a couple of days ago I did. And today I just feel absolutely devastated.
I do think it's bad that we sometimes become almost afraid of ourselves and almost afraid of our caregivers and, of course, our family. But it's awful hard to do sometimes. The feeling of being put on and the feeling of nobody loves us, I think those are perfectly normal feelings.
The things you see and things you experience in the dark, to me, are almost life-threatening. And the dark is a time when you don't see things very well. In the dark, you might just be totally lost. So I stay away from that. Stay away from the dark as much as I can.
Somehow I learned to cope with it, mainly through, first of all, you know you're going to screw up a good many times, so just don't let it bother you. There'll be another time to screw up, and there might be a few times when things go right.
I try to put the dishes on the table as much as possible and do as many chores as I possibly can do. And my wife lets me do that, thank goodness. You need to have something that you can do, even though the fact is there are not too many things that you can safely get into.
It's difficult, I think, for somebody with Alzheimer's to not just give up and say, the hell with it. I periodically do that. But then again, there are things I really enjoy.
Just that when you lose the most valuable things in your life, your career, not to mention making money and other fool things like that, and just the feeling that you're inferior somehow, that you're no good anymore. I feel that way, and I don't want to feel that way. Don't want anybody else to feel that way, but I do.
Alzheimer's is a lot of stress, mainly because you know what you've been earlier, and you know very well that you're not that good now. And it's real hard to reconcile. There are times when I felt like destroying things. Sometimes I want to cuss. Actually, I do some cussing out of frustration. It's a whole lot better, though, if things are quiet and uncomplicated.
This is one man's experience, but the familiarity extends to other individuals that we know with dementia.